I love Pokemon. I really love Pokemon. This series will always be close to me, no matter how old I get. All my love for Pokemon has led up to this, my longest countdown ever. My top 100 favorite Pokemon. Yes, this topic is very generic, but I decided to make it a little challenge. Now don't worry, I'm not going to pull an IGN on you and post the first 90 on a forum, and then make a shitty montage of the last 10 without commentary whatsoever. No, I'm going to thoroughly explain what I like about each Pokemon individually with my own voice. As my viewers, I only ask a few things from you. 1. These are my favorite, not the best. There's already a tier list for that shit. So don't you dare bring that up. 2. Please acknowledge that I am delving into all Pokemon media to explain why I like the following 100 entries, especially the anime and their movies. So there might be slight spoilers for various Pokemon movies on this list. You have been warned. And that's about all. We've got a long countdown ahead of us, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the list. Let's rock. Starting off this long countdown is Murkrow. Debuting in Generation 2, I can honestly say that Murkrow is one of my favorite bird Pokemon. You're probably wondering why I chose him over Honchkrow, his evolution. Well, for one thing, Murkrow has much higher speed stat, and when a faster Pokemon has Super Luck, that ultimately leads to a lot of damage, as long as those Pokemon EVs are set to attack. Every time I replay Gold, Silver, or Crystal, I always wait for a Murkrow before I establish my team. He was always my high flyer. Also, I just love the way Murkrow looks. His tail feathers kind of remind me of Gruntilda's broomstick, and his hat-like crest just screams, "I killed someone for this hat. You gonna try and take it?" Paul is an idiot for evolving his Murkrow. Seriously. He may not eat carrion, but this is one crow I always have affection for. Whenever someone around me brings up legendary Pokemon, they usually don't bring up Jirachi. I find that sad, to be honest, as I find Jirachi to be a great legendary. Jirachi is a very unique Pokemon, having the power to grant an infinite amount of wishes, except in the manga, that is. To this day, Jirachi is the lightest Steel-type Pokemon there is, weighing little more than 2.5 pounds. While its typing isn't the most unique, it does have very well balanced stats. The reason I love Jirachi is mainly because of the movie he starred in, known as Jirachi Wishmaker. I don't want to spoil anything for those who haven't seen it yet, but throughout the movie, Jirachi was a cute and enjoyable character, which led him to be number 99 on this top 100. I would probably like Jirachi more if Game Freak actually made him catchable in a Pokemon RPG. Hell, they haven't even included Jirachi in a Pokemon Ranger game yet. That is sad. I wanted to place you higher, little buddy, but I just haven't had enough experience with you to place you any higher. The very first Pokemon to have ever come into existence has to be on this list somewhere. He just has to. Bulbasaur is simply a classic Pokemon. Being an infant reptile with a ball planet on his back, Bulbasaur is a grass type capable of using solar energy to replenish its health and generate solar beams. It's easy to see why Bulbasaur is so loved by many. His concept is pretty damn original if you ask me. In the anime, Ash's Bulbasaur was always entertaining to watch, as he always wanted to help others even if it meant risking his life. Sure, its evolutions are much stronger than it, but that doesn't necessarily make them better, now does it? Not by my standards. Bulbasaur is cute, heroic, and very original. Why is he so low? Bulbasaur might be great, but I just love the later Pokemon more. Simple as that. Even still, everyone should love this little guy. He's great. What's not to love about Spheal? Seriously. Remember, a Pokemon doesn't have to have great stats to be on this list. I just have to like it. And I love Spheal. Why? Because it's my list. Make your own top 100. No, but the real reason I put Spheal on here is because it's just so damn cute. I mean, just think about it. It's a baby seal in the shape of a ball, and it even claps. Seriously, just watch this clip and try not to go, aww.
Spheal! Wow, it's a Spheal! Spheal, Spheal! Hi! Spheal, Spheal, Spheal! 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 Spheal!
Aww. You see? Now you might be wondering, Logan, why are you going all cutesy on our asses? Well, here's my rebuttal.
Why you hating, bitch?
You may not like this Pokemon, but as far as I see it, you're going to have to Spheal with it. Bronzeon is a strange case among psychic types. First off, it's a highly defensive Pokemon. That's something you don't see very often in a psychic type. Also, Bronzeon and its pre-evolution Bronzor are the only Pokemon in existence that have the ability Heat Proof, which cuts the damage of fire attacks by 50%, which is really helpful considering that it's also part steel. In addition to its unique design, Bronzeon's Pokédex entry really intrigues me. The Pokédex entry from Platinum says, "It brought rains by opening portals to another world. It was revered as the bringer of plentiful harvest." The Dex entry from Diamond says, "One Bronzeon caused a new sensation when it was dug up at a construction site after a 2,000-year sleep." Interesting. According to what I've read, it appears that Bronzeon was based off a Dontaku, Japanese bells used to pray for good harvests. These bells were often decorated with patterns representing nature and were buried in isolated locations, occasionally with bronze mirrors and weapons with them. See, it's references like that which leads me to like this Pokemon. Also, in battle, Bronzeon's no schmuck. His high defense and that heat-proof ability will ensure he'll be fighting for a while. For those of you who replay the Sinnoh versions frequently, I highly recommend Bronzeon as a team member. Sure, he may not be the best psychic type, but he's definitely one to count on. Based upon the concept of a living Pokeball, Electrode is often considered a very gimmicky Pokemon, and it's easy to see why. It may not look like it, but Electrode is one of the fastest Pokemon in existence, with its speed reaching a maximum of 416. Jeez, you could kill someone with that kind of speed. Speaking of danger, the more electric energy Electrode absorbs, the faster it moves. If angered, it might randomly explode. Damn, dangerous and unpredictable. Perfect for those pyrokinetic nuts. In battle, Electrode can prove to be quite useful, if you know what you're doing. His insane speed almost guarantees that he will make the first move. And if you had him learn Double Team and Electro Ball, combined with his static ability, he could end up being a real pain in your opponent's ass. Also, I just love the expression on his face. It basically screams, "You mad, bro?" Look at that. Look at that. That should be up on Google Images. Yeah. Overall, Electrode is a great electric type. With its quirky design, ridiculously high speed, and that joy-inducing smile of his, putting him at the number 95 spot on this list. Xatu is a very, very strange Pokemon, even for a psychic type. As you can tell, Xatu has the locomotion of a substitute dummy. It barely moves at all. According to various Pokédex entries, Xatu stands rooted in one spot all day because it daily views both the past and future at the same time. And each time period is viewed through a different eye. Well, I don't know about you, but I find that crazy. If you don't count its pre-evolution Natu, Xatu was the very first psychic flying type. Back then, it was a unique typing, and even now it's not done to death. Keep it like that, Game Freak. To this day, Xatu is the only Pokemon whose name begins with the letter X. Isn't that just weird? In battle, Xatu is overall pretty good. His stats are mostly well balanced, but he does get an edge in both special attack and speed, which is a plus. I just find Xatu very interesting, and that's all the reason I need to have him on here.
Someone come thaw me out! Oh, I'm falling! Ah!
I love Houndour. I'm not exactly sure why, but I just do. I try to explain it as best as I can. Not only does Houndour remind me of my old dog due to its appearance and color, but it also has a unique typing, a dual fire and dark Pokemon, which has only been done twice in the entire franchise. It's been suggested that Houndour may have been based off Cerberus of Greek and Roman mythology, or perhaps other legends from Hellbounds. Well, I'd say he's too cute to be a canine residing from the bowels of hell, but that theory is still quite interesting. While Houndour isn't nearly as useful in battle as Houndoom is, that doesn't affect his chances of staying on here one bit. Also, I loved the Houndour from the Pikachu and Pichu short. Houndour was just minding his own business, and then all of a sudden... You shouldn't have done that, Pikachu. Along the way, Houndour tries to get them while they're running across a clothesline, and he ends up getting bedsheets flung in his face. That's pretty funny. Lastly, I have to mention this little bit. As the chase continues, Pikachu bounces on a sleeping Snorlax's stomach and ends up just fine. So then, Houndour gives it a try and hopes for the same outcome. While its typing isn't unique at all, Floatzel gets my vote for the best non-legendary water type in the 4th generation. Why? Well, for a start, Floatzel has very high speed, the maximum being 361. For a Pokemon that you can encounter simply by surfing, that's pretty damn good. Floatzel has reasonably high attack too, making him a strong contender for those of you who like to sweep your opponents. Like me. Trust me, Floatzel has saved my ass in Platinum on numerous occasions. Also, I love the way Floatzel looks. First off, his two tails remind me of Tails from the Sonic series, and no, that's not a bad thing. Second, Floatzel's design is obviously based off of a sea otter, which is a plus because I love those little guys. And finally, that look he gives you basically says, "You're next, shithead." Here we come across the first 5th generation Pokemon on the list, Crustal. On my first playthrough of White, Crustal was part of my main team. At first glance, it's quite obvious that Crustal is based off of a hermit crab's design. While most hermit crabs have itty bitty little shells on their backs, get this, Crustal carries a chunk of Earth's crust on top of his back. Wow, that's one hell of a mobile home. If you can't tell from that giant clump of Earth on its back, Crustal is a very strong Pokemon. He has very high physical defense, as well as exceptionally high physical attack. Sure, it might have extremely low speed, but you can always teach it Rock Polish to make up for its lack of speed. Another thing to note is that Crustal is eventually able to learn the move Rock Wrecker, one of the most powerful Rock-type moves ever. His typing is nothing to snuff at either. I would still call half Bug, half Rock a unique typing, even though it's been done 3 times before. Game Freak, please keep this type combination unique. If I see a Bug completely covered in dirt next generation, I'm gonna let out a really big sigh. Oh yeah, I forgot.